is growing more by the day, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anything else we could possibly add to him to make him more epic than he already is? He's got Luffy's straw hat, he's an admiral in the Marines, he's got Whitebeard's stash and his Naginata. What else could we possibly add? Oh, okay, well, what about sexy Wano Kuni version Robin, courtesy of the Doujin King himself? Yeah, maybe that might add some more stuff to Barry's overall power level. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Barry's power is going to become a damn singularity that's going to bring about the end of the world, okay? I'm just throwing that out there now. All right, so today's video, we're going to be talking about the bounties of the Straw Hat crew. That's right, all of them, even including Jinbei, after the events of Wano. This is something I get requested a lot. I've seen a lot of other YouTubers that make the same basic premise of this video. You know, it's always fun to talk about future bounties. And I don't know, it's just like, there's so much stuff in this arc that could change how it would go. And I'll be honest with you, even after the conclusion of Totland, when we got Luffy's new bounty at 1.5 billion, I didn't think it was going to be this high. Even factoring in that, you know, Luffy participated in the assassination plot against Big Mom, even including the fact that Luffy defeated Katakuri that had over a 1 billion berry bounty. Katakuri's was 1,057 million. Even with that being the case there, I still thought Luffy's bounty, honestly, now that I think back, maybe I should have, you know, highballed it a little bit more, because even after he defeated Katakuri, for some reason I thought it was going to be lower than Katakuri's. I thought it was going to be around 1 billion after Totland. I should have figured, because, like, that would be like Luffy defeated Arlong. Arlong was worth 20 million in East Blue, and they made his bounty only 18. Like, that wouldn't make any sense. A general rule is, like, when Luffy, like, defeats somebody really powerful that has a bounty, Luffy's next bounty will at least be higher than that individual. Luffy did not technically defeat Big Mom in Totland, though. He kind of achieved, like, a moral victory on her, kind of went into her territory, participated in an assassination attempt, and then managed to get out, which is worthy of an increase in and of itself, and he, you know, defeated Katakuri and everything like that, but not good enough to be like, holy crap, Straw Hat Luffy. Like, now, if they would have succeeded in the assassination plot against Big Mom, like, let's say, minor tangent, but let's just say the KX launcher stuff, that those rocket launchers that Beiji had, that Caesar Clown developed, let's say those actually worked in dropping Big Mom, and the rest of the arc was just the Straw Hats trying to escape the territory. Like, you could still have Luffy fight against Katakuri, you could still have Smoothie and everybody chasing after the Straw Hats. You just wouldn't have the whole subplot with the cake being created, which I think for a lot of people might have actually been okay. I like the cake, but you know what I mean. So, if that was the case, though, and they managed to escape, Morgans and Stussy still probably would have written the story that it wasn't all on Beiji and Caesar. It was probably more about, like, Luffy was the mastermind of everything. If Big Mom would have died at Totland, ooh, Luffy's bounty, I have no idea how high it would have been. But yeah, 1.5 billion, pretty impressive. Way higher than I figured it was going to be, right? So we're going to dive into this today. Don't take this too seriously, because this is just, you know, what I feel like would be appropriate, but, you know, we have no idea where Oda's going to take this exactly. I do think that after Wano, every single Straw Hat is going to have a bounty boost pretty much right after Enies Lobby. You gotta remember, the last time that's happened was like Dressrosa, because even the Straw Hats that, you know, were present at Totland didn't all get a bounty increase. Nami was there, Brook was there, Chopper was there, but, you know, they were all there in Totland, and they did not get a bounty increase. Only Luffy got a bounty increase, and then Sanji. Sanji got a bounty increase up to 330 million. And obviously the Straw Hats like Usopp and Zoro and everybody that were in Wano during Totland, they didn't get a bounty increase at all. So I think that's kind of like the thing that balances it out after Totland. Like, Luffy gets this really big bonus, and Sanji gets a boost as well, but beyond that, none of the other Straw Hats did. I think after Wano, each and every Straw Hat will get a huge bounty increase. So let's start with Luffy. Last time I lowballed it, so this time I'm gonna highball it. Alright, we already know the bounties of Big Mom and Kaido. Kaido currently has the highest active bounty that we know of in the story. His bounty is, I wrote all these down just for reference, I don't want to get the numbers confused. Kaido's current bounty is 4,611,100,000. Big Mom's current bounty is 4,388,000,000. Alright? So, after this arc has concluded, I'm going to assume Big Mom and Kaido have been defeated. That doesn't mean they're dead. That doesn't mean Luffy goes 1v1 Kaido and it bashes his skull into the ground until it's powder. Doesn't mean that, although it does possibly indicate Luffy might get the finishing blow. I'm thinking Luffy, Zoro, maybe all of the Straw Hats together. I would at least, the fight against Kaido, the final battle, I would at least like Luffy, Zoro to be present there, and also maybe Sanji and Jinbei, if you can include those guys as well. That'd be pretty cool. But also, you got Captain Kidd, you got Law, you got the Samurai that might get involved, because all the other fights might be concluded at that point, and it's just like raining blows down Kaido's freaking dragon throat at that point, and then Luffy's the one that everyone's like, do it, Straw Hat! Ah! You know, gear fifth! And then blasted his skull into powder, and then that could be it right there. You know, Luffy gets the finishing blow, and maybe that's the thing that actually makes, you know, headline, oh my god, we got a lot of pictures from Wano, boss, what are we gonna put in the newspaper? I want you to put that shot of Monkey D. Luffy just punching Kaido into oblivion. Like, alright, put that on the front page. If we're gonna go down that road with it, I'm gonna highball this. It's gonna be at least... Okay, you know what? I just want to say what I'm feeling, and you're probably gonna think it's way too damn high. But this is what I feel, so I'm gonna just say this, okay? Luffy's bounty is gonna be 5 billion by the end of Wano. Alright, now listen to me, okay? That's still lower than Rogers. Rogers was 5.5 billion, 64,800,000. The reason I say it's that damn high is because the way that Rogers' bounty is set up, for one thing, is 5.5, and considering that Oda loves to do the kind of like numbering gags and the puns with the bounties, like for Rogers' bounty, for example, Rojiya is the characters in Rogers' bounty. You know, it goes 648, Rojiya. What I think is probably going to happen at the end of One Piece, Luffy's final bounty for this entire story is going to be 5.6 billion, because number one, that's the joke for Gomu, Gomu Gomu no Mi, and also that would put him higher than the Pirate King, which Luffy's gonna, you know, find the One Piece, and he's probably gonna be a greater Pirate King than even Roger was. I think that's gonna be his final bounty, is 5.6 billion, okay? Which means that, and I don't think there's going to be a lot of bounty increases between the end of Wano and the end of the story. I really don't think there's going to be any major ones, okay? Because at the end of this Wano battle, I mean, we're going to have a big epic war going on here. That's going to happen. And then after that, I mean, we got some other places to go. I want to go to Elbaf and then Lodestar. They might not even go to Lodestar. Elbaf eventually. But I don't see a lot of other really big opportunities in between Wano. Like, I don't see Oda doing big epic battle at Wano, and then a big epic battle somewhere else, and then big epic battle at Elbaf. I really don't see him fitting something in the middle. I feel like after Wano, we're gonna go somewhere else, gonna have maybe a story arc or two in between, and then we're gonna get to the climax of this story. And it's not like Luffy's bounty goes up every single story arc or anything like that. You know, it didn't go up after, like, Punk Hazard or anything. It's not like he gets a bounty increase, like, every single time. So, you know, and we might go to a country that might not be allied with the world government, like Elbaf, so maybe they don't know exactly what's going... Like, there might not be a warlord to defeat in Elbaf. I mean, maybe Shanks might be connected to it, but you know what I mean? Like, I think there's gonna get one more bounty increase here after Wano, definitely, and then just at the end of the story. So with that being said, Luffy getting a 5 billion bounty right now, if he was integral at defeating Big Mom and Kaido, not single-handedly, but was integral for that battle, and if it gets spun the same way it did at the end of Totland, where at the end of Totland, Morgans and Stussy were like, oh, it was all Luffy. Luffy's the one that orchestrated this master plan, because Stussy got it into her head like, oh yeah, Monkey D. Luffy. He pretends to be an idiot, but in reality, he's a Machiavellian schemer on, like, the level of Sherlock Holmes. You know what I mean? So if that's spun the same way again, where, like, Luffy gets the majority of the credit for taking down Kaido, even if it wasn't just him, yeah, I mean, it would be higher than both of the Yonko at that point. That, I think 5 billion would be something like there, and that would also cement Luffy's status as not just, like, a pseudo-emperor at that point. No, he's a straight-up emperor at that point, okay? And I know that might be going way, you know, highballing it a bit, and it's like, is Luffy even ready for that status? But because I lowballed it last time, and I think Oda, after the end of this, think about it from Oda's perspective. This giant battle that we're about to get into with 2 Yonko, after this is over, I think he wants to, like, show us that that was worth something. Like, okay, two Yonkos were finished off in this arc. Luffy's bounty is gonna go through the damn ceiling, into the damn stratosphere, mesosphere, ionosphere, shooting to freaking Jupiter after this. I think that's fair, okay? But let me know what you think below. That might be my own headcanon going crazy again. That tends to happen, but I'm throwing it out there. All right. Now, next, I'm going to go in order with the Straw Hats, but with this one exception. We're going to talk about Zoro, and we're going to talk about Sanji side by side, okay? What do you mean we have to talk side by side with this freaking Mossad? I don't want to talk about this side by side, damn twirly eyebrow. Okay, listen, guys, listen. You guys got to get along this one particular instance, okay? I don't know why you two just can't get along, alright? If you two teamed up, you could, like, defeat, like, incredibly powerful characters in, like, 5 seconds. I mean, maybe not 5 seconds that fast, but you could do really cool stuff, alright? So here's the joke right now, okay? For most of the series, Zoro's bounty was way higher than, Sanji's. Up until the end of Totland, where Sanji's bounty got boosted to 330 million. By the way, I had to modify these ones. I have all the updated ones downstairs on the wall, so that's why. But anyway, yeah, so for right now anyway, Sanji has a slightly higher bounty than Zoro. It's only by 10 million. So I thought of 2 ways you could handle this. The first way of handling this is Sanji, for very briefly, thinks that, like, oh yeah, I got a higher bounty than freaking Mosshead. Yeah! The next bounty happens, and, like, Zoro's bounty goes to, like 2 billion. Sanji's is just, like, 900 million or something like that. And, like, Sanji's like, damn it! I was on top of the world for a little while there, and it got taken away from me again. Maybe not even that big of a gap, but, like, Zoro is still more than him at the end of Wano, right? But another angle I thought of doing this that would be even funnier, in my opinion, that would continue the kind of joke going on here, the running gag, that I think would lend itself to so many comedic opportunities in this story. What if they got the same bounty after Wano? They were issued the same bounty. Holy crap, right? You can picture that. You can picture them getting the paper, looking at it, like Zoro opens the paper, sees his new bounty, and it's like 2 billion, and he's like, whoa, 2 billion, and he's all kind of like cocky and arrogant, and he just kind of holds it up. He's like, hey, check it out, cook, you dumb cook, check this out. And Sanji looks at his, and he looks back at, you know, his new one, is like, oh no. Zoro's like, what, are you too shocked that I'm back on top? His is also 2 billion. Oh my god, like, at that moment, Sanji would, like, drop everything, go to the Den Den Mushi, and, like, Sanji, what are you doing? I'm calling the damn Marines, and I'm issuing a complaint. Sanji, you can't call the Marines, they'll figure out where we are. No. Shut up. Everybody shut up. I don't care. This needs to be resolved right now. Zoro's there, too. He's like, what number do we dial? I don't know. Where's the helpline? Is it on the back of the damn poster? All right. Yeah. This is Blackleg Sanji here. Yeah, this is Zoro. Yeah, we got a freaking complaint for you guys. You know, like, which idiot do you have working there? Do you think I'm on the same level with this idiot, you know? Oh, God. And it would be like them immediately like, okay, we're gonna have to figure out who's better here, like thumb wrestling or, you know, go on a foot race or something. Like, I don't know. They'd have to come up with all these crazy competitions to prove who's better or something. Oh my god, it would be so damn funny. And 2 billion, I think, I'm settling on that number because I wanted to throw out the possibility of, like, every Straw Hat getting at least 1 billion at the end of this. At the end of Wano. I'm not going to go with that one just simply because, like, even with Big Mom, who has a bounty of 4,388,000,000, there are still members of her, like her commanders, her sweet commanders, that have less than 1 billion. You know, Katakuri had the highest with 1,057,000,000, but, you know, Smoothies, Crackers, you know, those were other sweet commanders, and they were lower than 1 billion, but they were really high up. Like, Smoothies was like 900 million, so it was getting really close. Daifuku and Ovens, they were high-ranking members too, but they were only 300 million each. They weren't sweet commanders. Kaido, though, on the other hand, Kaido, you know, so far from what we understand, King, Queen, well, we don't know King's bounty yet. Don't know King's. Queens and Jax are both over 1 billion, so I'm going to assume King's is up there as well, over 1 billion. His might be, actually, King's might be about 2 billion, and that's good too, because Zoro is definitely going to fight against King. But hey, what about this? What if we throw out the idea, what if Zoro starts to fight against King, but then something happens during the fight? Like, we get to see a Zoro versus King one-on-one for a little while, but then King does something to reveal his true power, you know, something to do with his, like, mysterious race we don't know yet. Something else happens, and what if Zoro and Sanji have to work together to fight King, to defeat him? And the way that everybody sees it is just like, well, they both took down King, so they both get the equal bounty, something of that nature. You know, even if King's is, like, let's say King's bounty is, like, it would be the highest out of the calamities, so it'd be, like, maybe 1.9, you know, billion or something like that, and then, you know, Sanji and Zoro have to work together a little bit to defeat him, and then, boom, they both get 2 billion as, like, you know, a reward for that, or I guess a bounty for that, okay? So, I love the idea of having, of, like, them, like, fighting, because, like, oh, I have the higher one, mine's bigger than yours, or whatever, but I would love for it to be the same, because I think there's a lot of comedy that could be found from that little, you know, thing there. All right, moving on to Nami. Aside from Chopper, whose bounty is pretty much a joke, Nami has the lowest bounty out of the Straw Hats at 66 million right now. Definitely going to get into over 100 million territory. I don't really see it. You know, she does have Zeus right now. And maybe, I mean, I threw out the idea she can maybe even get her hands on Prometheus at the end of this battle, because, like, if she was able to get Zeus to cooperate with her, why not Prometheus? You know, I guess I threw that as a possibility. But if she gets to keep Zeus, and, you know, she trains with it a little bit, and we, you know, figure out, like, some new abilities that she's got, you know, like, I could see her getting, like, 300 million. 300 million is, like, kind of the most I feel comfortable with. Like, I don't want to go to 500 million territory with Nami. I'm really not feeling it. But I think with Zeus's power, and if that power becomes more well-known to the rest of the world, because most of the stuff that happened in Totland, like, Nami didn't get Zeus until the very end of Totland, so they wouldn't even really know about that and what she could really do with it. But now that she has that power, if she learns to, like, ride on top of Zeus, like the flying cloud and stuff, like Son Wukong, that would be pretty useful. That would be pretty, you know, dangerous there. She just rained down, like riding on top of Zeus, just dropping divine judgment from on high. Made a whole video about that, on why that would be 18 different varieties of awesome. I'm gonna say a maximum bounty of 350 million. That's as high as I'm willing to go, I feel, for Nami. Once again, I might be lowballing it, because there's a lot of times where I say Nami is very glass cannon-y, and, you know, people can say, it was like, well, she kind of is and isn't. Like, oh yeah, by the way, I wanted to speak up about that a little bit, because there is one thing I forgot, because I kept trying to remember moments in the story where Nami gets, like, seriously injured, like a broken bone or something, and, you know, that never really happens. But I did forget about the one moment where, during Alabasta, she went up against Miss Doublefinger, and she got, I think, stabbed right through the shoulder, and then through the ankle, with, like straight through, with Miss Doublefinger's spikes. And she was still able to get back up and fight. That is true, and she was very determined in that fight, but also keep in mind, after that fight was over, she couldn't even walk anymore. Like, Zoro had to carry her around for the majority of that fight. You know, so, yeah, she can take a hit in that regard, you know, where it's not like she got, you know, stabbed in the ankle and she's knocked out of the rest of the fight and she can't do anything, but she really had trouble walking at the end of it. So fair enough, you know, but still, like, in terms of physical endurance compared to the rest of the Straw Hats, she doesn't even, you know, it's a different ballpark altogether. So yeah, 350 million is as high as I'm willing to go on Nami right now. Usopp! I'm feeling 700 trillion. You know, like, I feel like that might be a little, okay, we'll go a quadrillion. We'll go one quadrillion berry on God Usopp. You know, obviously, you know, he's gonna wait until the very end of the battle, when everybody, like, all hope is lost and everything seems like it's just done, and then all of a sudden Usopp, you know, claps his hands together, and then the skies part ways, and then, you know, he just, you know, eviscerates every enemy on Onigashima, and then he reigns supreme and he ascends on high to heaven, and they give him a bounty of 1 quadrillion berry, but he's no longer in this plane of existence, so you wouldn't even be able to collect it anymore. But it is a bounty befitting of a straight-up god, right? Now, you know, Usopp, the fact that if you would have told me at the beginning of the story he ended up getting a 200 million berry bounty, I wouldn't have believed you, right? So he already got to this point. I don't know why it says Sage King, but with the god image, I don't know why it says that. But anyway, Usopp is probably going to have a moment in this arc where, you know, he the same thing that happened in Dressrosa, where he became God by accident, essentially, going along with the theme that we have here. I could see Usopp somehow figuring out a way to defeat, maybe not like all based on a joke, but he's integral in defeating a calamity. It could be partly a joke, it could be partly serious. You know, Usopp's battles are kind of like, you know, half and half. But at the end of this, maybe getting Luffy's old bounty, 1.5 billion. He already got one of Luffy's previous bounties before, when Sage King got a 30 million bounty at the end of Enies Lobby, and that was Luffy's first bounty. So at the end of all this, you can't say that's impossible. You can't say there's no way, because something could definitely happen to make people think, like, holy crap, Usopp was integral in taking out freaking Big Mom or something, right? And then, yeah, you know, 1.5 billion. I think that's fair for Usopp, if not even higher. But if you want to stay with the basic status quo of, like, Luffy being on top, and then Zoro and Sanji, and then the rest of the crew members below them. Although Jinbei does kind of throw a little bit of more of a wrench into that paradigm, because Jinbei's current bounty is the second highest in the crew after Luffy's. So keep that in mind. Jinbei's now kind of new, and so he kind of adds a new paradigm to all this. But yeah, Usopp having Luffy's old bounty, I could see that. Chopper! 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 Is this gonna finally be the moment where Chopper gets a serious bounty? Nope. I don't think he is. The idea that I have for Chopper's bounty is that at the end of Wano, it's just going to go up another 0. We're just going to tack on another 0 onto it so we get 1,000. Hey, it's still higher than Beppo's. Although Beppo's bounty might go up too at the end of this arc. I think it's still going to be a joke at the end of this arc. But I think the final payoff for Chopper's bounty at the end of the story is going to be he's finally going to hit 1 million after this whole story. At the end of everything, 1 million. And that's still ridiculously low. That would still be, outside of Chopper and Beppo's former bounties, that would be still the lowest bounty in the story. I think the lowest bounty right now that's not like a joke, because that's what Chopper's bounty is. It's a joke. The lowest bounty is Mr. 4, Babes, and that's like, I think 3.2 or 3.4 million, something like that. That's the lowest bounty in the story right now. You know, Alvida's is pretty low at 5 million. Higama's was only 8 million. But yeah, Mr. 4's is the lowest. So, after reaching 1 million, though, Chopper won't even be upset by that. He'll still just be so happy he finally hit 1 million. And so he won't even care. He'll be like, I finally did it! Guys, look, finally, 1 million! Oh my god, Chopper, we're so proud of you! We finally... The long journey is finally over! I finally hit it. 1 million. I think that's going to be the joke with Chopper. Maybe you think otherwise. Maybe it'll be the complete opposite. Maybe at the end of the story, he'll end up getting like 100, like, no, not 10 million, maybe be higher than that. Maybe like 500 million or like maybe even 1 billion by the end of the story. Be like, finally, yes! But, I think we're going to continue the joke a little while longer. Robin. Well, we do have a lot of stuff. I'm surprised it's this slow to begin with, honestly. So I think at the end of this arc, over 1 billion would be very, very fair for Robin. I think so. You know, if you want to put her somewhere, like, you know, if Usopp were going to go with the 1.5, I could see Robin's being, like, at least over 1 billion. So maybe, like, 1.3, 1.4. If you want to go less than 1 billion on her, like, it would have to be really high up for me to be satiated with that. And she's my wife! What do you expect, okay? She's best girl. So, I mean, like, if you're gonna go less than 1 billion, I would say at least 999 million. I want her to have a high bounty. I want her to get really high up there and over 1 billion and really, because I think, I mean, like, straight up, that's fair. She has the ability to discover where the ancient weapons are. I mean, she already knows where they are. She already knows where one of them is, right? Like, she has the ability to figure this out whenever. Actually, she might know where 2 of them are. Because I think, yeah, that one poneglyph, she lied to Crocodile, but it's like, no, that one poneglyph in Alabasta, I think, really did say where Pluton was. She knows where Poseidon is, or who Poseidon is. So, she very well, and who knows, maybe at some other point in the freaking story that we didn't know about, she found out where Uranus is. So she might know. It deserves to be higher than this. Like, way, way higher than this, than 130. So, yeah. I'm gonna say 1.7 billion. Final answer. There you go. All right. Frankie. All right. Frankie is my favorite Straw Hat, but I don't see Frankie getting beyond a billion in this arc. If Robin didn't have all the know-how and ancient lost knowledge of the Void Century or how to read poneglyphs and stuff like that, I would not put Robin up that high. Frankie, I think like the 700, 800 million range for Frankie would be very good. Minimum 500. Minimum 500 for Frankie. But I think, he's going to play a big role. I think he's going to go up against Queen. So we're being taken down a Calamity there, but maybe with some assistance. It's not just going to be Queen against Frankie. Maybe, Frankie and Usopp, or maybe Usopp might figure out something to make it even more extravagant. That's why he maybe gets more of the credit. I don't know. But Frankie, I could see, he was upset it didn't hit 100 million last time, so it's definitely going to get beyond that. 500 million minimum, but I'd be happy with like 700-800 million for Frankie in that regard there. Brook, 83 million. That still seems kind of low for Brook. I feel like all the Straw Hats should have 100 million at this point, like every single one. Like even Nami, even if you want to just give Nami 100 million even, I feel like that's fair considering. But no, so Brook, yeah, 83 million. I have, he's probably going to go up against Apu. I'm going to guess. And Apu's current bounty, I actually don't remember what that is. Give me a second. I have to look that one up. Okay, so sorry about that. Yeah, it's 350 million. I thought it was in the 300 million range. I just wanted to be sure. So yeah, Apu's is 350 million. He's going to go up against Apu, so let's just use that as a baseline. Let's just say Brook is the one that takes out Apu because it's like a battle of the musicians. So in that regard, bump it up to maybe 100 million plus that. Let's say minimum 450. But I would also probably want him in the same basic ballpark as Frankie. Let's go with that. So let's go in the same basic ballpark of somewhere between I would 700 to 800 million, but it might just be around 500 million, kind of minimal. Let's go with that, or 450 minimal. Let's go with that with Brook. But yeah, I just don't, I don't see any, I'm trying to think of, anything big that, Brook would, do to make it, way, way, way higher, or something as, like Robin's knowledge, or Usopp being God, or Luffy maybe getting more of the credit taking down Kaido. I'm not sure. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, really, from Brook and what we're going to get there, but for right now, I'd say, 450, 500 minimum, and then, maybe, 700, 800 max. And then finally, we get Jinbei. Now, Jinbei's bounty is 438 million right now. This was the bounty he was issued after he officially defected from the warlords and, he left Marineford. He fought on Whitebeard's side of Marineford. That was the bounty he was issued, 438 million. And I don't think Jinbei really did much of anything, in terms of, fighting against the world government or anything during the 2-year time skip. I think he spent most of his time at Fishman Island. He was technically on Big Mom's crew, so maybe maybe that was, something he did. I'm not really sure everything that Jinbei did on Big Mom's crew, but he obviously didn't want to be a permanent member of the crew, right? But now he's a fully realized member of the Straw Hats. He's getting involved in everything, and he's a former warlord. The other warlords, like Hancock and Mihawk, they're all, no longer part of that system because the system got dissolved, so their bounties are going to be reactivated for one and then get a huge bonus. Boa's, remember, was 80 million, but it's going to be way higher than that at the end of, when we find out what her new bounty is. Jinbei, I think, is definitely going to be over 1 billion. In fact, if we're going to keep with the same premise that right now Jinbei has the second highest bounty in the Straw Hats, I could see it being over 2 billion. He is a huge threat. He really is. Master of Fishman Karate, former warlord, and now helping out the Straw Hats take down freaking, not only did he participate in the fight during Totland, but also participated in this one as well against Big Mom again a second time, plus against Kaido. 2.5 billion, even up to 3 billion. So I guess, well, actually, you know what? At the end of this saga, if Big Mom and Kaido are both defeated, that leaves 2 spots open in the Emperors, the 4 Emperors, the Yonko. You have to have 4 Emperors to have Yonko, right? So, if Big Mom and Kaido are taken out, let's say Luffy's bounty shoots through the roof, he becomes a new Yonko just officially, and then maybe Jinbei could take that other slot. I guess not really, because they're both on the same crew, so I guess that wouldn't work in that regard. And maybe the world government might even have a viewpoint of okay, we're gonna make Straw Hat Luffy's bounty a really high number, and he's gonna be the new Yonko. But we're gonna make sure that none of his crew have a crazy higher bounty or even close to him, because that kind of defeats the purpose, I guess. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but if that okay, let's just say 2.5 billion. I like it around there. If we're gonna go with the logic that Zoro and Sanji's is gonna be around 2, then I'll go with that. Yeah, I know these numbers might seem ridiculously high. They really are. Because you've like, wow, God, you're talking about Zoro having 2 billion when he only has like 300 right now. Hey, man, listen, I'm going along with this because last time I'm like, yeah, Luffy has 500 million. How big is it going to be after Tauntland? I don't know. It's probably not going to go up that much. It went up a whole damn billion. All right, so I don't see that as crazy impossible, and it depends on who they defeat. Like, if Zoro and Sanji go up against King, whose bounty is probably close to 2 billion, I would assume, and they defeat him, then it has to be higher than that. I would hope it would have to be, I guess. Maybe it doesn't have to be. I don't know, but that's what I'm going with. That's what I'm feeling. I think doing that would hype up the story an insane level and really let us know, the viewers, that like, okay, kid gloves are off now. These are the new bounties leaving Wano. This is the climax of this story. Get ready, kids. It's gonna get messy. All right? I think that'd be a good way to hype it up. But let me know what you think below. This is always a big hot topic for discussion. Yeah, so I'm going crazy with this. I'm going balls to the wall, but let's see where it goes. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Tekking, signing out.